When one thinks of naval VTOL jets, or vertical takeoff and landing capable jets, one does not tend to think of the Soviet Union, but would think otherwise of the Harrier jump jet, or F-35. Nor does one think of aircraft carriers and the Soviet Union. But in the 1980s, the USSR had just those. And in modern aviation, we still see the effects and technologies developed today that were developed even today. I'm Peter Palladini, and welcome to Stig History. The roots of VTOL aviation start back in World War II. In the spring of 1944, when the U.S. Army Air Corps and Royal Air Force were tasked with destroying the Luftwaffe before the oncoming invasion, P-51s and P-47s would fly low and fast over France, shooting down Luftwaffe Bf-109s and Focke-Wulf 190s. Pilots had the order to chase and destroy all German planes they could see, and then, the next step, destroy the ability to take off for those planes to take off and land. De Havilland Mosquito twin Merlin engine fighter bombers and P-47s equipped with bombs and rockets would assault the poorly defended aerodromes. The grass fields and paved runways were cratered, making it impossible to land or take off, hence rendering the planes useless that were sent to replace the lost aircraft. Because of the need for the long flat surface for a plane to take off, the Luftwaffe couldn't counterattack the Allied invasion in Operation Overlord, or more commonly known as D-Day. After the Second World War ended, Allied planners realized that this was going to be a major issue if World War III were to break out. In the 1950s, the US, Britain, France, and Germany all tried ways to get around this issue. While the British were developing the Harrier, many prototypes were built, one of which was flown at an air show and had been seen by Alexander Yakovlev, head of the Yak Aircraft Company. As soon as they returned to the USSR, they started work on their own jump jet called the Yak-5. However, with the Harrier, the Pegasus engine had thrust vectoring, allowing the engine to point where the thrust was going to be jettisoned. Yak and the Soviet Union didn't have the funding to do this, so they mounted two engines in the middle of the Yak-5 with rotating nozzles. The plane also had RCS thrusters on the tail, wings, and on a long boom off the nose to orient the fuselage in flight. Now called the Yak-38, in February 1966, aircraft 38 completed a vertical takeoff, transitioned to regular flight, then landed vertically and safely on the ground. But this was just a test bed. The plane was far too incompetent for military use and was just a proof of concept. The successor to the Yak-36 was the Yak-38, the plane designed for the Soviet Union's first aircraft carrier. The Yak-38 had three engines, one large engine in the rear and had two nozzles to direct thrust 90 degrees, and two smaller jet engines behind the cockpit. However, it still retained the RCS thrusters, which were powered by compressed air from the air compressors in the engines. This created a problem if one engine were to fail, the plane would pitch violently up or down, giving the pilot little time to react to the deteriorating situation. This is better than the Harrier situation, in which if one of the engines failed, it would fall like a rock. However, it would fall flat, giving the pilot a better chance to escape. Though the plane was intended to go supersonic, the difficulties were too high and the plane was limited to just under Mach 1. On board, a computer would check the flight data automatically and eject the pilot if a violent change occurred in the flight attitude. However, this would sometimes trigger without an issue and eject the pilot even if no problem occurred. First test flights began in 1972, but by 1975 the first plane was sent to the area Kiev. In 1976, a Yak-38 was taking off vertically when the pilot was unexpectedly ejected, but continued to fly in a wide circle uncontrollably, but remained stable. After 18 minutes, the plane crashed into a farmyard with no injuries. Finally, the Yak-38 officially entered service with 200 jets. However, compared to the Harrier, all planes had a small payload. No forward-mounted radar and were affected by warmer temperatures. Even just testing in the Black Sea, the warm weather reduced its power so much it couldn't take a full fuel load or ordnance under its wings. In Afghanistan, the plane couldn't fly in summer months because it was too underpowered to be of any use. In 1975, the Soviet Navy put out another request for a better fighter before the Yak-38 was even in service. This was supposed to be a supersonic, but this plane never entered into service before the Soviet Union fell. However, this engine would have a center rotating nozzle and afterburner, very similar to the F-35. After the fall of the USSR, the Russian Navy was too cash-strapped and retired all the Yak-38s. All the Yaks were destroyed and sold for scrap, with none surviving today. If you enjoyed this short rundown on the Yak-38, please consider liking and subscribing. I'm trying a new type of video with new graphics, and hopefully this will be more popular. I think it looks pretty neat and can help tell history more. If you like airplanes, please like and subscribe. If you like history, please like and subscribe. Thanks for watching. Have a good day. Happy 2021.